Hi guys, I'm Wilson and I'm here today with Bob the CNC Man Wood.
And I'm here with Keith and stop messing around, my best friend, and we have a shop talk to do.
Yeah, right. Well, as you can tell, we've got a different CNC in front today. This is the Evolution 4.
And we also have an Evolution 3.
Yeah, we're really excited. These are coming out. They're going to be available like really soon.
Soon and very soon.
No.
Okay, that's a different song.
Okay. That's a different song.
All right.
That's a good song.
It is a good song.
I guess. Okay. I want to talk about some features.
Okay.
You like that?
I do.
That separate this from the E3 and the E4 and kind of how we got here.
Okay.
So where should I start?
I don't know. Where would you like to start?
Well, I guess since this is out front, I'd like to start with the Z drive because we've made some changes there.
Okay.
And there are 3, and all of them have to do with the Z drive. So I'll just let you go through them.
Hey, look! I just happen to have a Z drive right here.
Yeah. Well, that's not a Z drive. That's an Acme rod. 4-start with the acetyl nut.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's been studying up on some engineering stuff.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
No, I just.
Okay, so on the E3 and the E4, we have a threaded rod.
Yes.
We can clamp a couple of nuts down around a bearing so that we can have a Z drive.
Right.
So what we've done for the Evolution is we've taken an Acme rod, as you mentioned, 4 starts.
Right.
Which means that every time for this one you move around, it actually moves 8 millimeters.
So every time the rod rotates?
One time it moves 8 millimeters down.
Okay.
It's like 1.6 or so millimeters with the...
and that translates into a lot more speed on the Z.
So the Z is going to be faster.
Okay.
Right, and you know, we're famous for our wobble, right? Because of the way that the 2 nuts...
But we don't fall down.
But we don't fall... Well, you know... I think you fell down like a month or so ago, didn't you? It took you forever
I
to heal.
did.
Just thought I'd bring that out.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So anyway, we take the Acme rod and we turn it on a lathe.
Yep.
Or our supplier does.
Yes.
And then we made it to where a bearing would fit on that.
Right.
And then we were going to use a split collar, locking collar.
Right.
And that should all but eliminate our Z
yes,
wobble.
I think it eliminates Z wobble.
Okay.
Virtually.
Virtually. Yeah.
Really close.
Really close.
You'd have trouble finding Z wobble.
Right. Well, I bet I could find it if I had a micrometer.
Yeah,
but anyway,
okay.
so that's our new Z drive. So that's going to be on the Evolution 3 and the Evolution 4.
Well, you also mentioned something about the Delron nut.
Yeah, so Delron's kind of like, you know, if you say plexiglass, it's a brand name for acrylic. Delron is a brand name for acetyl.
Okay.
I think that's how you say it.
Acetyl?
Don't even make fun of me. All right?
Okay.
Anyway, that's an inside story. It wasn't for sharing.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, yeah, so it's going to allow you to not need lubricant. I mean, you won't need to put Teflon on it. You'll have to keep it clean still.
Right.
Right, but it spins really easy.
Okay.
Less friction means more of the torque of that stepper motor can go into lifting up and down the Dewalt instead of just turning the thread.
Then another feature that we've added is what you are calling adjustable eccentric spacers.
Yeah, so on the E3 and the E4 design, we have slotted holes, and you adjust the bearings snug up against the rails.
And then tighten everything
and then
down.
You tighten everything down. As long as you're reasonable load, that is a workable solution. However, what we have
What do you mean by reasonable load?
Well, you have to, I mean, well, I got a Bridgeport, and I can really hog it. I mean, I can really, as a matter of fact, I don't worry about machine deflection. I worry about bit deflection. I mean, if you understand mechanics at all, you understand no matter what machine you would build, you would have deflection. It's just the amount of deflection. So our E-Series is entry-level a machine, and if you push them really hard, you can get some deflection, and if you don't get the deflection, you can loosen up the bearings. So, you know, we are trying to make a little bit heavier duty machine by going with eccentric
without
bearings.
getting crazy expensive.
Yeah. So, yeah, we actually, you know, eccentric spacers are not new. I mean, I didn't invent them. I wish I would have. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But they are something that's been out there, but not for the size that we needed. So we designed up this spacer, made a drawing, sent it off to suppliers, got quotes, and now we're buying this spacer for our Evolution series. So what happens is you have now, instead of slotted holes, you have round holes that the spacer fits in. You rotate this spacer, and because it's kind of like a cam, it brings the bearings up snug against the rails, and then you tighten it down. And we've been testing now for several months, and we have yet to loosen up a eccentric spacer.
No, they've been working really good.
Really good. So yeah, so that's an addition. So what else you got?
Well, that also, did you mention this? Because I wasn't listening while you were talking.
Wow.
Why?
That sounds like something
Yeah.
Pam would say.
Okay. She's known you longer than me.
Okay.
This has to do with tramming.
Well, it helps with tramming. So, in honesty, the E3 and the E4 were never really designed to be trammed. It was, it's an entry-level machine. It's supposed to be close enough. However, we have people that have figured out how to trim them by shimmying the router, also taking the, the screws where it mounts and loosening them up,
Right.
and you get a little bit of a room there. But it can be done. However, with the eccentric spacer on the Z-axis, we put them on all 4 bearings so that you'll be able to walk it around the X-axis. And then we'll use shim washers like we do with the KL series if you need to walk it around the Y-axis,
Right.
or rotate it around the Y-axis. So yes, this is going to be trammable by design.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, thank you.
The other, clever.
Now he's being super nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
Okay, another feature.
Okay.
And this one, I wish we had the picture to show you. And that has to do with the way we have redesigned. Can I turn this thing?
You can.
Okay. So you can see the back. We redesigned the gantry. And we created a torsion box design to eliminate linear and torsional deflection. And we got a picture of me, and I'm not little.
Did you say eliminate? Maybe reduce would be
Reduce,
better.
yeah.
Reduce would be a better word. Because you always have deflection again,
Yeah,
right?
but well, I'm
Yeah.
220 pounds, and I was standing on that thing in the middle, and you were measuring.
We
and,
got a picture of that. We need to show
Yeah,
them.
there was
Yeah,
no discernible deflection.
yeah. So, a little bit of history. Charlie Fite was the first person that actually talked about he wanted to make his gantry rigid and added a piece of aluminum.
Right.
He actually emailed me and said, "Hey, would you mind if I shared this?" Because he didn't want to.
I mean, this is a couple, 3 years ago.
Yeah, right, absolutely. So yeah, I said, sure, share it. I mean, I love it when people modify our designs. It's pretty cool. I mean, I always tore my toys apart when I was a kid. I think it's, that's cool when you have.
I
other
never
people that
called
like
that cool when my kid did something like that.
Yeah, I got
I
in
found-
trouble. I got
yeah,
in trouble a lot.
I could understand.
Yeah, what are you going to do? I get in trouble a lot now.
yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what else you got?
Let's see. Well, I'm going to spin this around again because
Okay.
it's going to be. I'll take my Coke off.
That microphone's going to be all kinds of noisy while you're doing that.
Yeah, you're supposed to have that up in your shirt.
Oh,
and
am
be
I?
really professional.
Sorry.
Another thing is you can see that we've got a Dewalt 611 router there,
Yes.
and which is different than the E3, E4.
Okay.
And you redesigned the router mounts. Why?
Yeah, so honestly, when we first started with the engineering series, then we started with a Dremel type tool. It's actually a little DeWalt Dremel, but it only lasted a day. So we started with the DeWalt 660, right, which is a cutoff tool that I had from my construction days. And honestly, we never really had a brush issue for the first 2 or 3 years. But since then, it seems like we have a lot of brush issues. And it's become a problem because changing brushes means you have to dismount it. So we really wanted to go to a different type of router for 2 reasons. Quieter.
Yes, much quieter.
3 reasons. Variable speed,
Yeah.
which makes it quieter. And also, you'll still have to change brushes if you get a DeWalt. But here, you'll be able to just take that top off and change them in place. Also, what's a really cool advantage is because of the way it's mounted, if you loosen this router up, you'll be able to adjust it up or down to get a little bit more room for longer bits. Right? Or adjust it down for shorter bits.
Okay, the other, let's see, a couple more things I wanted to touch on. 3, I guess.
Okay.
We introduced self-scoring gantry just,
With the KL7, yeah.
yeah, with the KL7.
Yeah, Sonny, the lead developer of Gerbil firmware, which is the firmware that we use, worked, I want to say with us, but he did it all by himself. I mean,
Yeah.
I asked, and he came up
And
with
he
the
did it.
solution. Yeah,
That's the kind of work, yeah.
Sonny's awesome, right? So he came up with self-squaring gantry for our larger machines. We offer this now on the E-Series as an upgrade, which is really just a switch, right, and some different firmware. But we're going to put it standard on the Evolution 3 and Evolution 4.
And the firmware comes already packaged.
Already packaged
You don't have
on
to
there,
do- just-
and you'll have one choice of firmware for the Evolution 3 and one for the Evolution 4, which really amounts to 2 different values for the size.
Then a couple other things. We have laid out specifically, I don't know how to say it.
You're talking about the wiring?
Yeah, optimize the wiring.
Yeah, so we wanted, on this design,
Should I
we
turn
wanted...
it around again?
We can turn it around again
Okay.
if you want.
Try not to mess you up. Go ahead.
So we basically tried to make a wire path for every wire,
Yep.
right, and a place for everything. And part of this is to make sure that we don't have electrical noise or electrical interference,
Right?
right? And the other part is good wire management is key to a successful build. You can do everything else right, but if your wire routing is sloppy, then your machine won't work for very long at a time because
Why?
wires will fall out, you'll have electrical noise.
Yep.
It's just that, you do not want any relative motion between your USB cable and your Arduino port because that thing wasn't designed to have motion, it was designed to be fixed. So we make sure that all of our wires are fixed, right? Have a place really close to the board that they can be zip tied down so that that we'll have a no issues long term for the
I'm going to
wiring.
turn this again. So
Again,
get ready.
okay.
Yeah.
You like turning things.
Well, it's kind of fun.
Okay. Maybe
Well,
we can do that
we
later.
didn't mention this, and that is we've incorporated a belt tightening system.
Yes, so again, Charlie Fight, he was the first person to do this. I remember his video. He had a little guitar tuner where he was, I can't remember what note he was, but being an engineer, it had to be a number, right?
Right.
So he engineered for a belt at a certain
A
frequency.
G flat.
Was it a G flat?
I have no
I
idea.
don't know either. But anyway, so, we always thought that was cool. Since then, we've had several customers. Scott,
And Scott Hamill.
In Scott Hamill.
Yeah.
He came out with one he called the Gator Bite. It's pretty
It's
cool.
awesome. Yeah, it's a great design.
So sorry, Scott. We're on the Evolution 4. We're gonna have our own system. But anyway.
But not only out here, but we've also incorporated it right here.
Yeah, so we've added a piece that allows you to draw the idler pulley outboard so that it tightens up the belt.
Right.
If
Okay.
you ever get that manual release, people would be able to see it.
Yeah. Well, if you'd ever. Oh, well, I'm not going there.
Okay, that's good.
Then the last thing, and that is we are doing a one-piece spoil board
Yes.
with inserts, but we've made it optional.
Yeah.
Why?
For us, spoil board's a piece of MDF. You can go to Lowe's or Home Depot, your favorite hardware store, and pick up a piece, and you can make 3 spoil boards for, what does a piece of MDF cost? Like $27 or so.
Yeah.
Right? So for us, it's, it's easy enough to make, right? We throw it on a CNC and poof, we got one, right? But the shipping is horrid. So for us, we have to charge due to the dead weight. So we thought we'd give you an option to...
Is that why I get paid?
We'll talk about that later. But anyway, we wanted you to have the option to save $100 to make your own spoil board. A lot of our customers are making their own anyway, so we thought we would do that. So we also are going to give you the option to buy it without the router. So you'll be able to buy it. There's be a matrix here of how many options you have.
Right.
You'll be able to buy it with or without the spoil board, with or without the router.
Yep.
You'll have to choose which router mount that you want.
Yep.
Right? And you can buy it with or without software. So our website folks have some work to do.
Now, did you want to talk about, because this is going to come up, people will have just bought the E3 or the E4.
Yep.
We are not introducing this in the time frame that we wanted. There are certain constraints that are forcing us to make the decisions we've had to make. And they're going to think, well, nuts. If I known this was coming out, I wouldn't have bought this.
Yeah.
So how are we helping them?
Yeah, so we've already talked about this in a Facebook Live earlier this week,
Right.
right?
Did we?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, was I there?
Yes.
you were.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It was memorable.
Like Back to the Future kind of a thing.
Kinda,
but it's all
yeah,
right.
okay.
Right, so yeah, so we are going to offer an upgrade kit. We've talked about this in our Facebook Live. I mean, really, there's not much of an upgrade. You already have a CNC router, right? But if you take the electronics off and a few of the bearings and buy all of the rest of it,
The wood parts.
the wood parts,
Yeah.
pretty much everything,
Right.
Then you'll be able to step up to the Evolution if you would like to do that. So there'll be more details as
Yes.
we get these along, and if you've watched, if you didn't see the Facebook Live, I think Kristen's going to have it recorded, so it's probably already out there.
Okay.
So you can go back and look at that. And if you got questions, you can always email us at
What?
at
Shop Talk
shoptalk
at
bobcnc.com.
.com.
Cool.
Yeah. Next time, guys. Thanks so much.